Alrighty, guys, let's get started today. So, starting off, let's go over a couple of the trades that I took today. I took an opening short that ended up getting stopped in profit. I entered at 631 at 1.3 or 1.15, and then they hit like 1.5, and then I put just stops at 1.2, and they got triggered at 1.2. So, closed practically break even. Immediately decided to flip long on that same candle just because just I figured it looked like we were going to go more upside for a scalp. So then that's when I took those contracts. I took the morning ones were, let me check. The morning ones were 54.40p. I made a solid at $50 after being stopped in profit. Crazy. Then this trade right here, I believe the biggest one that made me flip to go long was just seeing 55.20. That was the main thing that got me to kind of flip long, just because DGEX usually doesn't populate with stuff similar to as the same as raw. So with that being said, when I saw it on DGEX, I was like, okay, I'm pretty confident that we should trend up for today. I'll be honest, today was just buying blind from my fucking debt again. You know, it worked, I guess, but still, yeah, that's just pretty much what I did this morning. And then this trade was the one where I actually put in some analysis. This is the one that I actually signaled instead of just me fucking buying from my bed. So started talking about, let's see, 7:36. I'm building a short position. If I get clapped goodbye by my fellow friends, going tomorrow expiration and next Friday expiration. So you may be wondering, why did I go tomorrow's expiration instead of ODTE? This is mainly because of this portion right here. Everyone, not seeing anything sweet in terms of ODT action. 5,500 is the main magnet. I like my odds for tomorrow's short though. So long as we close below 5,500 at EOD, I'm swinging into tomorrow. At that point, that's my thought process, right? There was no interest above 5,500 on tomorrow's data. So to me, it just didn't look like a strong likelihood of pushing, higher up past 5,500. Although we had that ODTE one at 5,520, it just still didn't make sense to me because number one, I don't like longing and during price discovery. I think I said that. Yeah. 656. Personally will not long price discovery unless it's a scalp. We'll be patient during times like these. And plus, for everybody that knows, I've been waiting to go into shorts, like patiently fucking waiting for shorts. And today it paid off. The patience finally paid off, right? Um, so the main one was here at 848. This is another reason why I was started to build a short position, right? There's certain tools that I use. I like fibs. So that being said, we already retraced in here, and when we got to here, I was a little bit worried, but we were also testing that 5,500 wall, right? 5,500 wall plus you have, oh shit, did not mean to click that. Yeah, 5,500 wall as well as fib short. To me, it made sense. And every time we approached 5,500, we had neg delta, right? So that was the main thing for me that going into the rest of the day was like, okay, it doesn't seem like we're going to break above 5,500 just because on the footprint chart, every single time we broke above 55 or got near 5,500, negative delta would build up on the footprint, right? So then it just gave me conf, it gave me high confidence to continue to go look for shorts on a day like today, in comparison to longs, like most people were looking. Um, so, as we talk about many different scenarios, right? You had a 5,500 Gex wall. On top of that, you had negative delta building up to it. On top of that, you had the fib short right at 5,500. So to me, that makes sense to go short, right? We always talk about certain steps. It's like Gex wall with interest below. There was interest below at 54.80 to 85. So it just made sense to go short, right? That's just the basic bread and butter setup that I always talk about and that I always show to everyone. So hopefully, you guys are able to continuously see it, right? New low day. When we took out the SMT at the bottom, that's when I was like, do we continue going lower? But there was just SMT all over, even bearish SMT. Then on a 15-minute time frame, right? When we started getting lower, we started testing the vol reversion levels, right? So right here, right, I pointed out 15-minute finally closed below retesting S1 now, right? And I mean, you can look at it. This is that candle up to right here. And then we finally got a nice projection off of it, and then we went all the way down below. But what most people didn't see is also in between, there was a nice 5-minute retest of S2, right? So let's flip to a 5-minute, and then you'll see that retest candle right here, right? If you go to a 1 minute, you'll see it even clearer. Right there. See, made a new low, finally went below, retested it perfectly, rejected and went lower. So this trade worked out perfectly. I have the PA was clean, everything overall was clean, right? Got to 5,500 with negative delta in a short fib area, then broke below R1 on the 15 minute and retested it and held below, right? Just very clean PA today. And then sent it lower with that 5 minute retest, right? At what's it called on the 5 minute right here. So overall, just very, very clean PA. I don't think you can get better than that. I think the only thing that would have been maybe kind of annoying is timing. However, we entered at 7:30, 7:36. So timing wasn't a big issue. You know, we got the move during that lunch hour, which is perfectly fine in terms of being in the position previous to the lunch hour. Does that make sense, guys? Short, sweet, simple. This trade netted over 140% on tomorrow's expiration. So questions on that trade? Let me know. Let me know, guys. Main thing is I want to keep it short, sweet, and simple for everybody. This is that bread and butter setup that I always am talking about, guys. Every single time I'm talking about it. No questions? Why the bounce up, no charm, still target below? That bounce came from having negative or the DGEX at 80. I mean, I had fucked off already, right? Look, I personally, after I take or like close out of my trades, I tend to kind of not look at the rest of it. What was the reason you entered calls this morning again? Once again, just a sack tingle. Like I've been blindly just buying it from my bed and once straight up just getting lucky. That's pretty much it. Like I just getting lucky. I mean, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not, but I just bought it from my bed. I mean, I got stopped out too. Like I was laying in bed, got stopped out of my puts right here, right? For slight green, and then we flipped long because we held above VWAP. I was like, why not? There's S4 and S5. Am I tripping? We don't have S4, S5, do we? Unless you, no, I didn't post any S4, S5. S2, S1, 2, 3 worked out very well. Oh, just extrapolate. But yeah, 5520 early AM had me thinking we'd push higher. It broke 5,500 and retested. Yeah. So like when it comes to stuff like that, like if it breaks below, that's when you kind of want to like not be in that position, right? We held above very nicely, right? This is when I debated on going long, but I was like, I don't really want to go long right here. It just to me doesn't make like I don't feel comfortable going long on retest. I'll take my money and run. Ever keep track of the monthly and weekly expected vol moves? The bounce happened right there at the monthly expected high, which is acting as support. No, I don't keep track of that. A lot of this, I keep my stuff like very simple. Like my setup is my highest probability setup works so fucking well that I will take it every time without fail, and I don't need anything else to utilize it. If that setup shows, I'll take it every time, right? So 5,500, no, all good. Yeah, no, Rambo is old school. I know you use a bunch of older stuff, older strategies. I keep it on an ODT basis. I think having all those extra stuff is a little bit too much for me. I've had so many things on my chart in the past. You can ask Gio. You can even see the fucking candlesticks at a point. But yeah, and at that point, it was just so messy to me that I couldn't have anything else. Now I just maximum VWAP and 1.9 EMA, and that's really it for my trading in terms of like indicators. Even then, I pretty much only use VWAP. I could do without the 9, but I just know it to be I just know it. Like I've always had on my chart, so taking it off felt kind of weird, which is why I put it back on. Yeah, overall super solid day. I mean, I couldn't have asked for more. I don't care to go long in these moments, so for me, this all this shit didn't matter. And I caught the biggest drop of the day, so I was pretty happy with it if it kept going, which it did, but the contracts up to here went back to like only plus 30% from 140%. So, and it ran for more, like I think it went like 250% more, or it went to 250% from my entry. So even then, like 140 versus 250%, I'm not gonna fucking bitch and moan about it. Questions, guys. Give me the questions. Not, you know me. I'm trying to keep these short, simple, and sweet. Huh, Dina. Upper? Okay, okay. You're not climbing. Ow, motherfucker. Right as I said, don't jump on me, you jump on me. Bro, did you fucking fart, bro? Chop tomorrow, which you made to use. I use the 9 EMA. Chop tomorrow? I don't know. We'll see. I think tomorrow could get really interesting. Ow. First day watching slash listening. Good to see it all play out. Yeah, no problem, man. I'm glad you got to see it firsthand. Like that's as I said many times, that's my bread and butter setup that I will take every time. Okay, Athena, you can fuck off now. Hey, yeah, damn. Goodbye. But yeah, that's the main setup that I will always take, that I always am on the lookout for. You know, Gex wall with interest above or below, negative delta if there's interest, or negative delta if there's interest below, positive delta if there's interest above. Like that's just, it works. I want to say like 82% of the time, but it has to present in all aspects of the checklist. So it's one of those days where it did. And you can ask everyone in the chat. It shows every time. Are you going to post recording? Yes, I will post a recording. Yeah, very simple stuff. Three things on the checklist. So it works out, I want to say, like I said, 82% of the time. There's only been a couple times where it's failed in like when I put in the commentary, and people know that, like that have been watching. And it's not like one of those like, oh, 82% success rate, you'll hit it every time. No, like it, I'm sure that you'll run into moments where it fails, but when it works, it works. Like even this day, it just positive delta overload at a freaking Gex level. So same things, just it happens all the time. I missed the footprint right before that drop. How did footprint delta look right before? Uh, it looked like this. Right. At 5,500, we were right around here. So then that's when we started loading up or that's when I started loading up the short. We pushed up a negative delta on this candle, negative delta on the other one. That's why I was okay holding it. Even on this drop, this is when I was like sussed out where we got positive delta, but I was like, I mean, there is interest below us at 80. I didn't think we'd go that low. So the trade turned out or panned out better than expected, which is always great. Right. I was trimming at 80. I trimmed here. I trimmed when we hit R2 or S2. Sorry. I trimmed when we hit S3, and then I trimmed, exited the last one right there. It's always a good thing when it plays out better than expected. And then same setup as usual, slap stops and profit as soon as you're down to runners, and then let them run. Yes, sir. Very, very simple, sweet, clean strategy. Thank you, man. I'm gonna start moving the classes back to twice a week. We've ran it every single night for almost pretty much a month now. So how do you base your stops after you're in profit? I kind of just put it wherever I feel like. I just put it in profit. Like the contracts were at 11.5. I put a stop at 10.1, 10.1. Actually 10.2, and it got filled at 10.1. And then even here they went back to 6.0. So it was a good stop. Am I gonna re-enter? Probably not. I'm not one to re-enter usually. I don't like taking re-entries, especially like um, there's different types of traders where they re-enter if the contract base is out. I don't like doing that since I usually grab at the money. So for me, when that contract was here at 6, it's still not at my entry when it was right here at 4.2, right? Like this is a 20 point increment difference almost from here down to here to re-enter. Yeah, 15 to 20 point. So even if you were to take the minimum of 13 points, that's still 13 points below where I had entered. So I'm not going to take that entry personally. That's just how I trade. A lot of people would probably take a re-entry here, which will definitely play out still. But me personally, not my type of, I don't like taking that onboarded extra risk. Yeah, I don't have a specific way of putting stops in profit, just kind of where I'm feeling for the contract. Not a problem. Not a problem. Any more questions? If there are no more questions, I'm gonna end it here, and then I can post a recording for those who joined late, and it should be up in less than an hour. Yeah, today's commentary was solid. It was more so at this point, it was kind of like a signal. Since I said I'm building a short position. Everyone, for those who are new, how I build the short position is I'll take 25% in of the like a quarter size position, then start adding on to it as we go. That's pretty much what I do. I don't like because I just in case that move does happen, I want to be part of it that I'm looking for. So I'll start building them here. And then at 5,500, that's probably where I'll full size in since that's the last wall. Mitigates the risk and also gives you the potential to catch it all. Because if it starts moving before like I'm full position, then so be it. It's much easier to hold. What was your initial target? 5480. It surpassed that like crazy. Yeah, 54. I just wanted to short from 5,500 to 5480. Ended up catching what is this? Fucking almost 30 points. So you started building at R1? No, no, no. I started building at 5,500 because only R1, I was actually in calls here, remember? On my own personal. I didn't talk about that one. But yeah, I was in puts around here when we were holding below VWAP. How did you get 80 as your target? I remember seeing, I think the data was at 80, right? There was a bar at 80. It might have been 85, but there was a bar at 80 and 85 on ODTE, as well as like R2 vol reversion or S2, sorry. I usually, like I said, if I'm taking a short, there better be interest below. Why? Because that interest below is going to end up being my target. And then that very bottom one right here, it was just because well, that one got stopped in profit, so it's a little different. Questions, questions. You have one or two more questions, if there's any more. 10 seconds to type the last questions that you might have. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. All right. Window is closed. With that being said, we will close off this live recap. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the morning as always. And as always, uh, keep moving forward. Thank you guys.